And they just kept putting like Tajay back, and I'm like, I get it. He's good. You want to get him activated, but like, bro, like, but I think they're worried like he's gonna get dehydrated, he's gonna get hurt, and it's just like, dude, like if he gets hurt, fucking cool. We got homeboy right there. Like, run him into the ground. Like, he's a game.
Yeah, I feel like Derrick Henry's just indestructible. Yeah, he's had like one major injury his whole entire college and professional career.
It was like it was like the side of his fucking foot because he'd just be cutting too much. He's a big ass dude. Yeah. He weighs more than me. I'm not a small guy. Like, I mean, I'm not tall, but like.
Do you think you could tackle him?
Fuck no.
How many of you do you think would take to tackle him in open field?
Open field. Like, let's kind of maybe say narrow hallway. Because open field, he's just gonna cut.
You're right.
Like, he's just gonna fucking juke the shit out of me. And I at least have to have more behind me because the first one he's just immediately. Yeah. Last week.
Yeah, literally first game. I had just shown up because I don't have cable, so I went down to Cancun. Yeah, and I was watching the game down there, and literally as soon as I sat down, I just saw him like put some guy in the dirt. I was like, that's my guy. That's our guy.
Yeah, man. I'll get you the hookup. I know where you can watch the games online. So I'll take, yeah.
Word, yeah.
I'll recording and everything. I'm not gonna say where it is, but I got you.
Okay.
Word. Man, okay. So how long have you been in there? I just kind of moved over here like a couple months.
Oh, word. And it's kind of like Sicko. She's kind of new over here too.
I was with him last night.
Really?
Yeah. We went over to their place because they always come over to ours.
He's such a cool dude.
Dude, that's the boy right there, man. He's working on so much good stuff.
Hell yeah. He just released a new song.
It's good. I like it. Yeah, dude. His style is so much different than mine. Sorry, I'm doing the Dion thing. I got the hat and sunglasses.
It's a good look.
Dude, really, I don't like, I'll go back to it, but ADD, I didn't take my hat today because it's a Saturday.
You want one?
So many. But like, it's, he's doing a lot of good work. I like what he's doing, man. Like, he's definitely, there's a lot of folks in Nashville that will inevitably pop. Like, for sure. I mean, and because, like, you look at places like, let's take Atlanta, for instance. The great frame of reference. It's right down the fucking street. 3.5 hours. But it's right down the street. It's one street. Like, it's just a long one. You look down there and you see all of those acts that were locals that end up just now they're nationally touring. Great example, like Zen Selected. She's playing all these local shows. Now she's nationally touring. ATL. Obviously, they're from there. They're playing big stages. My fucking homie, Kevin, Drink Your Water, if you're familiar with him.
He's from Atlanta too?
He's from Atlanta, bro.
Wow.
I remember seeing Kev sitting in my buddy Taylor's kitchen. We were down there doing something, playing a show or something. I don't even know what I was down there for. And I go hang out with my buddy Taylor, who used to do Sunday service. They were great back in the day, but he manages a Kroger. And we always have a joke. It's like, bro, like at the end of the day, dubstep don't give you insurance. Like, Kroger's gonna give you that health benefits, dog. Like, you don't get PTO with dubstep. But I remember going down there, man, and it was just like working in Ableton, sitting in Homeboy's kitchen, and I was like, man, like, you could have some gas. And we were just chatting, man. He's a real nice guy. Drink Your Water from Atlanta.
Ravenscoon, right?
Ravenscoon, and he wasn't really doing a lot of local Atlanta stuff. He was kind of a lot more like sit in the bedroom till he was ready and then he popped off kind of thing. And you can tell that with like, he's not like a CDJ guy. He's not like I go out, do the local DJ thing and then blow up, But yeah, Ray, Paul's down there. I think it's Paul. Yeah. I've met him once or twice.
Seems like a cool dude just based off of Twitter.
Super nice when I met him. Even in the brief interaction, and he was a real nice guy. I met him at a match, and we were all hanging out with the Wakan dudes when they hosted that stage
last year.
Yeah,
I was there.
So we were all hanging out in the back with like Lucid, Liquid Stranger, Ravenscoon, Kamarion. They were all hanging out back there. We were just shooting the shit with them. And it was great. Like Lucid, I've known for years and years. They're all so nice.
Lucid's a very nice dude. Yeah. He's one of those dudes that I reached out to when I first started to, get into music production, and he was really helpful, like giving me like tips and stuff. Yeah. But he was very honest. He was like, yeah, this is going to take a while. So
it does. And all of them will tell you the same thing. And it's just like, bro, like, it's just, you have to keep working. And I'm not one of those that's like, I always hate the phrase practice makes perfect. Practice makes what you practice. Like, if you practice it wrong, it's going to continually be wrong. Okay. And like, so
looking at that.
Yeah, it's just something, you know, it's you gotta like learn how to do it right. And you know, there's music production, there's 100 ways to skin a cat, gross, but that's the phrase. And you know, there's some wrong ways to do it, but there's a lot of things you can do right. And you can do them in different ways, like, you know, with just side chaining your drums. There's so many ways to do it, and none of them are necessarily wrong. You know, you can have like throw like a glue compressor on it and just have to do that. You can throw a regular compressor. You can use it like VSTs or something. Yeah, and one of the things that like a lot of the, you know, really good people, like maybe not, you know, the best producers, but they're smart and they know the program and they know what they're doing. You know, they may not be the big touring national stage guys because, you know, not all of those folks that are big main stage acts are the best producers. Yeah. You know, great example, my buddy Mike Evil Intent, and he did the shits for a long time. Like in the 90s and 2000s, he was like drum and bass, doing all the shit. And now he's like teaching at Icon. Something he told me, and he was like, bro, just like get a gate and just fucking like write in your side chaining with your drums on the gate. So like there's multiple ways to do that. But it's just a long process. And then it's, you know, and Neil would be very real about it. Super nice guy. And, you know, most of the folks you meet out there are nice too.
So, like, you were talking about drink your water. You know, I've seen on Twitter that, like, a lot of people are saying that he's, like, an industry plant. No. Have you heard that?
And I have heard that.
I don't believe that personally.
Yeah, I can guarantee you he's not. And the reason a lot of people would think that, and like it almost seems like he came out of nowhere, right? And the reason behind that is he actually, he did raps before. So he was featured on like a 12th Planet tune and a couple other ones. I know 12th Planet for sure. And a couple other, Say My Name or Say Your Name, whatever it was. Say My Name, I think is his DJ name. He rapped on a couple of his. So Kev is actually like, he's a rapper, believe it or not. And then he just went, fuck it, and then went into the production. So he already kind of had that knowledge. And his roommate, again, Taylor Sunday Service, you know, a great friend of mine. He's a big Vikings fan. We've been in a fantasy football league for like 8 years now. And when I tell you who else is in that league, it's going to blow your mind. Yeah, he's not. And because I've seen the come up, but he was already connected. Yeah. And a lot of people, they don't see all of the behind the scenes work. You know, they only see what's on social media. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, to some people, they see, oh, who's this dude opening up for Excision all of a sudden? And then it's like, bro, he's got like, he announced his like fall winter dates every fucking day till like January. And he's like, you know, every fucking day, whether it be a tour with Ravens Coup, whether it be a tour with somebody else, whether it be him headlining. But no, he put in a lot of work, but he already had the connections from stuff he was doing previously.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I feel like he needs to like incorporate some of his rap into some of his songs.
I don't know why he doesn't.
Like once that happens, like for me, like that's like no one's really doing that. You know, like I think I've heard like Flux like sing on a track.
Gore, but yeah. We don't talk about those.
Yeah, I saw Borgore at Atlanta or at Imagine a few years ago. It was a throwback set. He was playing like Ice Cream. You remember that song?
Yes.
Me and my friend Hayden, like, we were just like, damn, this is so silly, but like, it's a tight song, but it's silly.
I mean, he found his niche. He's like, Robert, just fucking go out there. He plays the same shit all the time. But I mean, it's, you know, hey kids, it's more, you know, like it's still fun. But like, yeah, he's one of the few that like did it. I mean, he's not a good rapper, but he did. And you know, I'm surprised Kev hasn't, honestly. And I'm talking about like, I know him super well, like casually know the guy at best. But yeah, and he had a lot of people that did help him. So I would say
everyone needs help, you know? Exactly. No one does it completely by themselves. Yeah. Like you need help from your friends when you're first when you're first getting started to come to your shows and like help you promote your stuff. And yeah, so like everyone needs help. And Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of guys out there. Like, I mean, even with me, man. I mentioned Evil Intent, Protohype, and Kumarion are both, in my corner, like helping me out. They're like, hey, bro, what do you need? Where do you need it? Hey, here's some advice, kind of thing. And they're both wildly intelligent.
Yeah. Prototype, we kind of grew up in the same neighborhood. I've known him since I was a little kid. We used to play basketball like at the neighborhood courts in Sheffield.
I was hanging out with him on Saturday right before the show, man, and saw my son, and it does it very briefly. Super nice guy, man. Max has always been very helpful with me and what I do. Really, we've been friends since he moved back and everything, and very loosely, similar social circles. And it wasn't until the pandemic, if you remember, I'm sure everybody does. He got to do shout out Dub Rebellion, Derek. Got to do a bedroom session for Dub Rebellion when they were doing their live streams and stuff, and he it was like a Prototype and National Friends, so he had me, Radashi, and Finders Keepers all come do sets with him for this stream. So it was like really big getting to be on a stream for the Dub Rebellion, which I mean it's Dub Rebellion. That's a big deal. Man.
I thought he was fine. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I want to say no, deal. But yeah, dude, he's super great, man. And he's so lax about everything now. Like he's been there, done it. Like he's played every fucking festival. Like he's got nothing he needs to prove to nobody.
He just got married, right?
Yeah. Charmaine's blowing up right now too.
Yeah. She has an amazing voice.
Mega talented. Mega talented. I feel bad for him, man, because we were hanging out again Saturday. And Omar Kamarian, was talking about Izu. And he was just like, bro, he was like telling us crazy stories about how much of a disaster.
I mean, I saw it on social media.
It was all accurate. Every bit of it. Nothing was over. In fact, it was underblown about how bad it was. Dude was telling me, he's like, I almost got in a fight. Like, security wouldn't even let me get near the stage. There were just random people in the green room, like, hitting on girls being weird. Like he
that's
told me,
fucking awful.
Yeah, dude, he told me him and the Yuki boys like kicked a dude out of the green room that was like creeping on girls. They were like, bro, you got to get. I would not want them Yuki dudes, which I've met them big motherfuckers. Like I would not want them. Hey, bro, you need to leave. All right, like because they're doable. Like it's like fucking linebackers. They're big dudes. They're huge. Like I'm, 5'9", 5'10", depending on what gas station I'm walking at. Old Ron White show. And like I took a picture with them. Fucking they gotta be like 6'3", 6'4". Both of them. Yeah, they're big dudes and they're large guys. But like he said, it was a disaster, man. And poor Charmaine, she like flew out to Izu, flew out there. She was supposed to play Saturday. She was the opening set on main stage. Like, awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking go get it. And she did she woke up that morning, they were like, like she was on the way to the festival and got a text from I think her manager was like, you ain't playing. They just don't have it open.
Fuck them. Man.
Yeah. It's
fuck them.
Because it's it's the dudes from Brooklyn Mirage. They bought Izu this year. Obviously the Mirage has had its problems. They, oversell it regularly. There's people that have been dying, leaving the fucking venue. They've had 2 people die in that river next to the venue. And obviously, the festival's a huge fiasco. But shout out to her. She ended up on the Wakan after party up there in New York. And got to play with Liquid Stranger and everything.
Okay, so it wasn't like a complete loss.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still like she was telling me, fucking, who was it? It was either Max or her, was telling me that like Vampa was like on a flight from like LA to New York. That's not a small flight, bro. That's like 3 time changes across the damn country. The U.S. big as shit. And apparently she didn't even know her set Friday was canceled because all of Friday got canceled. She didn't know until she landed, saw on Instagram that like it was like, hey, we're canceled. Like they didn't even contact her manager, nothing. They didn't allegedly. This is all, I've heard third party. But like it's just what a disaster.
It's hard it's hard to have sympathy for that type of situation. I know like festivals are really hard to run and a lot of problems can arise, but like that's kind of unacceptable.
Unacceptable, top to bottom. Like this, I made a great joke, fucking on the festival, which love that page. They shouted me out before. Great dudes running that. I said, fucking, it's crazy that like Burning Man wasn't the worst festival that weekend. It was considered it was declared a national emergency. And that was the best festival to go to.
Wow.
Yeah, man, and fucking Burning Man, I had a bunch of friends out there, and just seeing the posts and stuff. I don't know if you saw about Burning Man this year. It
was mud.
Yeah. I had some friends out there, and just some of the stuff I was seeing, it was crazy.
Production was out there, right?
Yes. Yeah. He was. I was keeping in contact with him, man. Just seeing, like, hey, like, are you fucking alive? Like, are you good, bro? Like, don't die on the fly. And he was like, we're thriving. And I was like, you're not thriving. He's like, we're fine. Like, but he was out there, I think, 15 days. 15 days on the climb.
No, I can do that.
Which is wild.
I cannot if I can do that. I do want to try Burning Man one year, maybe even next year.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's a different type of festival, right?
I would like to go like 15 years ago. And yeah,
like before it became like more mainstream.
Yeah. And the crazy thing, so I've done a couple like local burns, like some in Nashville, Atlanta, and I've got friends that do something like North Carolina and stuff like that. So like a lot of regionals, and it's so different. And I don't know if you've ever been to one, and they're like sanctioned by Burning Man. It's one of those, like, you have to abide by the specific principles. And they're interesting because it's like, imagine a music festival thrown by the people attending. That's like the best way I can like portray that concept. Because it's like, the folks, like the ones that are putting on the stages, the ones that are the bartenders, the ones that are setting up all these different camps and stuff. There's nothing like, there's not an official slots or official stages. It's just like, hey, like, we're going to set the fucking camp up. We're going to put all this shit up, and we have our boys that are going to play. And if people come by, they come by. And it's wild environments. Obviously, nothing even close to compare to Burning Man. But the concept of just it's so radically different that it's just it's not a usual music festival.
I gotta try it one day.
There's something extra, honestly, and it is so. Like one of the biggest shocks for a lot of people is there's no like food vendors, nothing. There's no vendors. There's no money transacted.
You gotta bring everything yourself, right?
Everything, have to. And that's the thing, and that's why I look like everybody's like, oh my god, are those people going to be okay? And I'm like, the burners I know, they come in, they're like, we could be here in 3 weeks. It's going to be 3 days, but they're like, we got enough stuff for 3 weeks. We'll be all right. And so yeah, they were all fine.
Cool. So let's kind of get into like you for a second.
Yeah, I could sit and talk forever, bro.
So Souljunk, where did you get that? Where did you get that name from?
As wild as it is, so like it was back in, I want to say like 2009, 2010. I was like, and it's so cringy looking back, but everybody's got to figure it out somehow. I was like literally just like syncing up YouTube videos on my laptop, like, and it was some peter out, some go on to be fucking, deadmau5. And so I found a t-shirt at Goodwill with it's a green t-shirt. I have no fucking idea where it is. It just soul equals junk. And I was like, there it is.
That is sick.
And it cracks me up, man, because you'll hear some of these DJs, man. It's like, bro, I was on a DMT trip, and like I was like floating through the stars, and a Technicolor wolf came down from this galaxy and said, your DJ name is Starblazer. And that's how I got it. I'm like, bro, I found a t-shirt for $1.50. And it's been my name for like 15 years now.
That's like a sign from God almost. It's like, here, this is what you should be doing, and this is what you should be called.
Yeah, and so on Facebook for like, a long time, it was named Souljunk. And it's nice because like it's not my real name. It's Kevin Frazier. Yes,
I didn't
a lot of
know
people don't know
I
that.
had no idea. I thought it was his name.
No, yeah. So it is I've got, and that's when I go about like at work and stuff like that, and in like a professional sense, Kevin, and I rarely use nobody. If you call me Kevin, you don't know that. And so I have this completely other alias. What is it? Some of my associates at work would call me Hannah Montana because they're like, you got the two different like. It works, like you can't, if I'm like going to a place to apply, you don't have to hear there's like you ain't gonna find me on Facebook with that.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been kind of running into some issues. I've been applying for some jobs, and like if you look up like Wawa, like all my DJ shit pops up.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I could be paranoid, but I feel like
just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they ain't out to get you, bro. Like what they do in some of these companies, fun fact, make a burner email. Make one specifically for like applying to jobs and like doing professional stuff that is not linked to your Facebook, Instagram, any of your social media. Because there's a script that a lot of these employers run that like they pop in the email that you applied with and it pulls up all your fucking social media. Yeah, like everything that's connected.
Wow, that's good to know.
Make a burner email, like alex123@gmail.com, and that's what you use to apply to jobs and shit.
Okay.
So, and I'm not saying all of them do. Like, you ain't gonna go to the fucking McDonald's, but you should be applying there. But you ain't gonna go to the damn McDonald's and they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's a DJ, can't hire, can't hire." Actually, nowadays, honestly, that's a great place for DJ. I'm kidding.
So your Facebook is like popping. I've noticed that. Like, How did that happen? Is it just a natural growth?
It's a little bit, yes, honestly. I've gone viral a couple times. It's just I think of myself as a funny person. I like to make people laugh. And that's my goal. I read something once that recently actually. It was are you funny to make yourself feel better? That people like encourage you, or are you funny to make people laugh? And that's kind of the mentality that I move towards. Is I like to give people joy, whether it be the music or just in conversation, making people like that was great. Fucking hilarious example. Last night I was hanging with Ish and Lindsay and my girl Alexis, and we were making jokes about like Ish saw someone lit up out in like a white bridge, like dude pulled into a driveway and just shut up houses. And it's just like, nah, I'm gonna keep going. And like, I was like, bro, like you homeboy went, color my skin, I ain't calling the cops, they can deal with that. I mean, fucking cops are racist. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that on your video. Like,
everybody knows it.
Yeah, I'll say it on there. But like, and so we were joking, like, well, what's the whitest name you could call to the cops? And so we were like, well, sir, this is Jacob Jingleheimer. And so we were joking about that, and I go, and on the other end, they're like, hey, bro, get the fuck out. That's my name too. Like, and we were just hollering. And so with, Facebook, I like to make people laugh. And also another thing that really helps, and this is, just, it is genuine. I got called fake recently. I'm going to get into that in a second.
Okay.
But it is genuine where like, something again I read recently was people love to support someone that's like doing well that they can cheer for. And it's same with like sports teams or like American Idol or something. You're like, I fucking like this person. I like their story. I like their journey. When they win, I feel like I'm winning. When the Titans win, it makes my day.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with that. Like, I have I'm not in there making any play calls. I'm a fucking couch quarterback at best, but when they win, I personally feel a sense of accomplishment. And it's that same transition to, music producers and artists out here is that, and you see it a lot on like, other, artists' Facebook when they're like, hey, I put out this song. It did 1 million fucking streams. Thank you so much. Y'all all believed in me from like the day ones, yada, yada. And like, you'll see them interact with people and stuff, just like random people like, hey bro, like, I love your tunes, like the DJ saved my life, that sort of thing. people love to cheer for somebody. Like, you know, they're like, yes, go you. I love that. And that's something that I've kind of geared towards in, you know, my posts and social media is like, you know, I want to be that guy that people can cheer for. You know, so it's like, yo, like today I woke up, I had 1,000 streams on my new song. I was like, it's a small milestone, but I got 2 with 1,000 streams now and it feels great.
Hell yeah.
And it's just one of those like, yes, like I love, like I'm excited and I hope y'all are excited because it feels good to cheer for somebody. And that's not like an arrogant, egotistical thing. It's just, it makes me feel better, but it also, I feel like I'm helping other people feel better because it's like,
yeah, you helped me get here.
Yeah, like you can live vicariously through somebody. You know, I've got, you know, friends from high school, you know, they chose the life, and no shade at all. Like, I don't want this to come off and shit. They chose the life of, you know, white picket fence, nuclear family, you know, like, you know, wife, 2 kids.
Nice life.
You know, like they're like 9 to 5, which I work at 9 to 5, but like they do the 9 to 5. She stays home and takes care of the kids. Don't know how people can afford that to this day and age. But like, you know, and they'll be like, bro, like it's so cool seeing you do all of this. And they're like, no, yeah, I've like seen you, you know, like back before you even DJ. And it's cool to watch you do this. And they're like, I can't, that's not my life, but I love watching that. And that's kind of why I do it the way I do it, you know, and some people, it comes off as either disingenuous or fake. Or they're like, he's just doing this for like the likes and the streams. It's like, no, like I love
all of this.
Yeah, like I have things I want to cheer for. You know, I love cheering for the Titans. I will post about the Titans. I have nothing to do with the Titans. Mm-hmm. I'm not Tim Kelly making play calls, bro. But like, if you know, when they win, I'm like, let's go. Like, bro, they win a Super Bowl. I'm getting a Titans tattoo. Like, it's gonna happen.
And I'll be right there with you.
Like, you know, like
for real.
Right, like I'm gonna do the 30-star right. I don't know. But like, and that's kind of, you know, so it's a combination of I love making people laugh, and I love, you know, because you know you could be having a bad day and just scrolling, and you see something fucking stupid is like I went through, I was like, you know your memories on Facebook, you know, like, oh my god, so cringy. Yeah. But like last year I said some shit like it was like nothing puts me in fight or flight mode quicker when the auto flush hits on the toilet when I'm still shitting, and I'm just like, oh, like it's going, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing like, you know, like. And, you know, if you're scrolling, you see some dumb shit, you're like, that's fucking funny. And, like, it makes you feel like it's that hit of serotonin. And, you know, it's fun to be that for some people sometime, you know, because I need that. I need that from other people, you know, and, like people that don't even know that they're, you know, like making me feel better through the internet.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of my friends that have taken like that normal route, like I see them settling down, getting married, having kids. I'm like, fuck yeah, like I like all this shit.
Yeah, like somebody got to
I'm fucking happy. Yeah. Man, so like I feel like I started like following you, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you kind of started blowing up during COVID time.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
So I'd always kind of like I've been out here, and it was like kind of 2020 or shortly before 2020 with like the Grande days. It was Grande Thursdays. We were throwing these parties every Thursday, or not every Thursday, once a month. And it was a good crew of people. We had Johnny Grande, Showtime, Finders Keepers when they were just getting started. And they're blowing up. Fucking shout out to the Excisions playing their tunes on the regular. They're great fucking producers, great guys. Lucy Jane, who's now Ella, and she's doing a fucking great job out there. You know, and Dead Man, there are several others. He went by Sandy back then. So there are a lot of great people. And really, you know, and I'd been playing, you know, clubs here and there. I'd get some good opening gigs, or I'd be like first on a lineup, you know, and it wasn't really popping quite yet because I was just out here just DJing. I was like, I'm gonna go out there, play some songs. Thank you so much. You know, and now it was when the Grande days happened, I was still occasionally playing dubstep. You know, and like I venture outside of drum and bass a lot. I love all sorts of electronic music. I'm not just like, you know, some of these drum and bass purists are like, I only listen to D&B, everything else is trash. It's like, no, there's a lot of great. So like, I'll pull up the Lost Lands to see an Excision set. Like, maybe not Excision, but there are other acts I would love to see. And I kind of realized, I was like, damn, dude, I'm pulling up, and like you'll hear 5 sets in a night, and you'll hear the same song like 4 times. the same like 6-7 songs, because there's only so much new out there.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do if you're not making all of your own music.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you go out there, and I was like, man, I don't want to fucking do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna fucking stick with this drum and bass thing. I love it. It's my heart and soul. I always have, and I always try to fit it in sets. It's always been difficult up until much more recently. And it just, I was like, I'm doing this. And it ended up with a lot of late night slots. My bookings went down, and I was like, I'm still gonna fucking do this. And it was, I think 2019, it was 18 or 19, I can't remember which one. I was like, every set I'm playing is drum and bass for the rest of the fucking year. Every set. If you book me, that's what you're getting. I'm not doing any fucking thing else. And it seemed to really pay off because it was something different. People were getting into it on a like national stage. Obviously, the UK, Europe, it's always been a thing. But in the US, it was really starting to gain a lot of traction. You see artists like Black Tiger, Sex Machine, they're dropping a couple D&B tunes. And you have all these artists like, they'll play a multi-genre set. They play a bunch of drum and bass, and the crowds are really starting to react to it more because it's different for them. It's not the same thing.
It's a nice little switch up.
Yeah, and so I was like, "Fuck it, man! I'm gonna just ride this shit because I love it. This is my passion. I genuinely fucking care about this music. So it is spiritual to me almost." And so, and it really just ended up paying off. So it was like, COVID happened. I did some live streams here and there. And it was just after then, it just all of a sudden, it was just like people were like, bro, we need a drum and bass guy. And like, all of a sudden I became the guy here.
Damn,
yeah. And it's, and this is from other people. Like, this is me over. Like, it's like, no, I've had so many people. They're like, you're like, if somebody needs a drum and bass, I'm going to call you, bro. And, I mean, that happened. I got, I'm playing Death Packs coming up here soon.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And, what happened was the promoter got a call. They booked that. They booked the Death Pack tour, whatever. And the promoter, was talking to the touring manager or Death Pack's manager, either one. And they were like, you have a local slot. You gotta you have one. It has to be a drum and bass guy. And so the promoter, who I'd met casually once at a venue, right? It was my buddy Perry, who was with 24/8, introduced me to him, and I guess he just called Perry and he was like, you introduced me to this cat like 3 months ago. What the fuck was his name? And dude's like, here's his number. Call him immediately. And so it was like, he told me you were the guy. So, and
that's awesome.
So that's just kind of how it's got to be, and last year really felt like it was the first year where it was like, yo, like I'm here, it's a long time of working, getting these gigs here and there, and then it just finally just kind of happens. And so now it's like an established thing.
Fuck yeah, man.
And now,
man. That's sick.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And I got the music behind it now. I'm getting a lot of tunes together. Like I said, I've got 2 bootlegs out this year. I promised myself 5 tunes. I got 2. I might not hit the 5, but I got 2 out now. And it's just a lot of working. And I finally sat down and was like, man, I gotta just start. You can only get so far just DJing.
That's
so
true.
So I found I'm enjoying it. It was a year and a half of, God, I don't know what I'm doing. And then it's like, all right, I know what I want to hear. I know what I can make. I know how to make it sound like this. And then, now I'm kind of getting to this point, and it's nice. Like, it's last Saturday, I got to play with my buddy Kumari, and it was drum and bass. And
this was at the office, right?
Yeah, it was slammed out. People were there for it, and I love it because it's more than just me. It's not me. Look, I love myself. I'm, a little bit of an egotistical person. Comes with the territory. You ain't never met a humble DJ, right?
You should love yourself.
Yeah,
everyone should love you.
Absolutely. Like, you should love who you are. Like, but it's more than that to me, because it is to me a love of a genre that always felt a little underappreciated out here. And seeing it grow more and more and more,
especially today. Today that's like peak.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's gonna keep going. It's not even peaking yet. We're getting there, and it's gonna keep more and more and more.
But isn't that crazy? Because I feel like, drum and bass has been around forever. Like, as long as
forever.
I got into electronic music back in 2010, and people were playing it then.
And it just wasn't what it because it was dubstep really. It was dubstep and house, trance, stuff like that. That was the big deal. And drum and bass was there, but it just wasn't what it is now. And it's cool to see, because really even in America specifically, the sound is so different from what's popping in the UK right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong, like in America, like we still play the songs that are really getting big in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
There's like Headaches and his style, this new jump up style is really getting, it's super popular over there and it's bleeding into America. But like American drum and bass, you've got Justin Hawks, you got Reaper, you got Mob Tactics, Bad Syntax, you have all of these cats out here. And it's it's not super different, but it is a different kind of drum and bass because it feels very influenced from, everything in Europe and the UK, but it also feels influenced from like American dubstep. And because I call it as you see it, American dubstep is different from UK dubstep.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, everything's kind of bleeding together a little bit more. But like I said, Reaper, for instance, his sound is nothing you hear in the UK. You don't hear producers in the UK making stuff like what he's making. You don't hear producers in the UK making stuff like Kamarion's making. You just don't hear it. And so it's nice to have something kind of specific to the States, and it seems to be catching on really well, which I love.
I was actually thinking about making a D&B song.
Absolutely should.
I'm trying to like learn more about it. I've been like having thoughts of I want to like know like the roots, just so I can like really hit it on the nail.
Yeah.
Like I want to read up on it, want to be like well versed, and I've been asking all my friends to like send me songs and stuff so I can.
I'll send you as many as you want, man. And like if you want to get back down to like the roots of everything, the core root is the Amen break. And it's a sample, like the 1950s. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head. It was just this, a bunch of black dudes like just fucking jamming out, and it was a B-side on a record, and it was this dude playing the drums, and and it's that specific groove and that specific sample is the most sampled sample. I know that sounds really fucking stupid. It's the most sampled sample of all time. Is this Amen break? And you hear it all throughout pop music. You hear it all throughout, rock and metal. You hear it all throughout, obviously, dance music. A lot of times, you hear every genre, everything from house to dubstep, obviously drum and bass. You'll hear that little break sometimes in this song, and it's just that, it could just be a beat, and then it had that, and then it goes back to what it's doing, and it gives it a little bit of life. And that's the root of it. Is this fucking short clip from a fucking B-side record from like the fucking 50s or 60s.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
Yeah. So it evolved to what it is today. A lot of like the American roots, you can look back at like Diesel Boy and Planet of the Drums, the AK-1200, Dara. You can look back to Evil Intent, again, who I mentioned earlier, who, oddly enough, this might blow your mind, oddly enough, was a three-man group. One of the guys, Evil Intent, he's still doing it. He's teaching now. That's Mike. And the other two members of it were Bro Safari and a house guy, Treasure Fingers. Bro Safari. He was a drum and bass guy, and then he went off and did the trap thing, and now he's chilling. Kill the Noise used to go by Ewan. He was a drum and bass guy. Then he moved over to dubstep. You got to go with the times a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that was back, in the 2000s, late 2000s. And so, you got to change with the times to stay consistent, It's hard to just...
Wise words.
Yeah, it's hard to just, find your sound, and B, keep your sound relevant for all of these fucking years, Like, everybody wants the next hot big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking theme from fucking Back to the Future, like, that new sound you're looking for? I think I found it, and that's a constant thing. And that's what I love also about electronic music is it's always evolving. You can go through, yes, with like metal and rock, hip hop, you can see like decade evolutions, but overall it's stayed consistently the same. It's at its core, and I love hip hop, but at its core, once they switched from, like the real cheesy, goofy shit to like, all of a sudden you got like, NWA and, these cats out here that are just, they're rapping. It's hard. and it's like, but like,
yeah, that West Coast shit.
Yeah. And then, but it's consistently, hip hop hasn't drastically changed from the 90s to now. And then like, it has evolved. And like, you can tell the different decades by sound, and, there's different people doing, the Beastie Boys are very different from Kendrick Lamar. They're both hip hop, but it's still, they're both rapping over beats, and with electronic music, there's so much variety and so much change over time. One of the things I always love to highlight is 100 BPM music. So like it went from, in like the early 2010s, Moombahton was this big deal. It was like 100 to 110 BPM. And it was like, like that, like very Latin influence. And, you kind of had those like over top of it, you had et cetera, Bro Safari again, Titsworth, all these dudes out of great name, Titsworth out of DC. All these dudes doing, that was the style. And then 100 BPM slowly within that decade moved from Moombahton to twerk. So then you had like guys like Party Favor, Mo Green, even Diplo was out here, and it was that same BPM, but it was such a wildly different like concept, but it evolved from it. Like I can tell you, Moombahton moved into twerk music, and then twerk music and trap kind of had its heyday, and then trap's evolved a lot. And then twerk kind of moves to this now with 100 BPM. You have this res type stuff. LS Dream out here. Shout out my buddy Control in Chicago. They're making this 100, 110 BPM. That's just boom, 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 like that, like real deep. But it's just a kick snare, because it's the beats have evolved, and in each of these almost completely different genres have evolved from another. Like and obviously Moombahton can trace its roots back to Latin beats, but bro, if you ever pulled up to a damn like Mexican party, like some chick's quinceañera, and it's like slammed out like 50 of them motherfuckers, they play two kinds of things: the energetic, let's go, and then God. And it's just a fucking vibe.
Dude, you really know your shit. I'm impressed. Like, for real, we just went from like hip hop to electronic music. So it's so dope. I bet you can feel out crowds like really well. Like, you can just like look at the crowds, kind of like see how they're feeling the song. Like, you know what? I bet you'll like this.
Yeah.
Even though like you're mostly like a drum and bass, like, but I bet you could.
And there's so much variety within drum and basses. You can do that with the genre. And something that a lot of DJs need to learn. And keep in mind, there's no wrong way to do this. The wrong way to DJ is you just fucking mashing up garbage. And sometimes people like that, bro. Skrillex out here.
Massive.
Yeah. I saw Skrillex, and he just hard slammed in a party in the USA at fucking Hangout the other day. And it was still a fucking vibe. So, there's no necessarily wrong way to do it. And I'll always say that, there's no wrong way to DJ, wrong way to produce. The stuff that's maybe not as good as the other stuff, but there's no specific, that's incorrect. You know? Like, it's a multiple choice test, all the answers are right. Some may not be as right as others. But with reading the crowd, and that's something that it's hard to learn. And there's big producers, they'll have their set ready and they don't have nothing else on their flash drive. And I'll typically, with the set, I'll have kind of a pre-planned, I know these 3 to 5 songs go together in this order, and I know they'll fucking pop off. And then it'll be another section of, I know these 3 to 5 songs will pop off, and I kind of just do that. But sometimes, it's reading a crowd is important, and you want to have, extra stuff on your fucking flash drive. So that way you can work with them. Because there's some crowds, bro, I could go out there and just rinse, just straight jump up, mix it quick, and just they're hanging on every single one. They're like, don't bring the shit down. No breakdowns. Let's fucking go. And then there's some crowds, man, where it's just you need to throw in your pop remixes. You need to throw in your rock remixes. You need to, feed them something. It's a symbiotic relationship. I'm not going out here and play back more, play back buddy. I'm not doing that. But you have to you feel with them. Okay. And it's just so sometimes stuff just isn't good. There are times when I've had a song where I'll go on a string of shows. I'll play let's say 4 or 5 in a month, right? Different crowds, different cities, yada yada. And I've had it where some songs, they're like, that's not it, bro. Like, you know, and there's always songs that are the banger. You know it's going to work. You know it's going to work every fucking time. And then there's some songs like, some crowds, they're like, bro, when you play that was it. And then there's some crowds like, you could play the fucking same set a week later in like maybe another city or something, or maybe a different kind of venue and a different crowd, like no crossover, right? And then you play the same song, people go to get drinks. And you're like, that worked last, well, what the fuck just happened? So, and it's a little bit of trial and error while you're doing it live, which that's tough. But yeah, it's a lot of it is crowd control with DJ. You know, you have to kind of work. It's you know, you have to kind of coexist with them. You know, you can't just go out there and be like, I'm gonna fucking do this whether they like it or not. Well, I kind of do. But like, and it's, you know, they don't expect it. Sometimes like the, you know, it'll be a vibe, and then sometimes it's just not it.
Dude, I played earlier at the office with like, you know, Hampton.
Yeah.
Crew. Yeah, I played over there, and it was like a deep dub night, and like the whole time like leading up to it, I was like, so can I like play my songs? They're like, yeah, go for it. But in the back of my head, I was like, oh, I don't know if I should do this. Decided to do that, and dude, the crowd was just like,
and it works. And it's you know,
it didn't work.
Oh, it didn't work.
No,
oh, they fucking
the crowd dissipated.
You know,
it was the worst thing ever.
And you got to do that sometimes, though. Honest to God, you have to go, I don't fucking care if they don't like it. This is what I want to hear right now. And you know what? There can always be one or two people that kind of be like, fuck yeah. Way early in my career, somebody told me you always, sometimes like opening sets or whatever, you got to do it for the nod. Even if the crowd's empty, the crowd's not feeling it. If dude is washing glasses and goes over the bartender and he hits you with the nod, you're like, all right. Sometimes that's all you just need. And like, you know, and the thing is with, you know, out here playing music, a lot of times you have to show them things that they may not like, you know, and that's the tough part is because sometimes, you know, it's your parents might not like it, but the kids will, you know, Back to the Future again. Oh, I haven't even seen that movie in forever. I don't know why I'm doing that twice here. But like, it's, you know, you have to, you know, sometimes you just have to do that. But it's a tough thing that just comes with working crowds for such a long time, playing a variety of different genres of music, and you have to learn to work with them. It's a back and forth. You don't want to bend for them entirely. You're not a Broadway DJ, you know, like I'm not out here like taking requests. If somebody slides me $60, I'll play the song. Like fucking hand me the USB, bro. Like, cool, this is half of what I make today. And but like you have to kind of work with them. Because there's sometimes where it's just you know, they don't want what you're serving. And I've had that happen, man. I opened for Deoro years and years and years ago at Anthem, many long time. He was the number 6 DJ in the world at the time. It was a big deal. And he super fucking nice guy, by the way. He's so nice. And the first DJ that played, crowd wasn't about it. He was playing some good house music, right? The second DJ that played was this duo, and they like came in fucking swinging dubstep, trap, blah blah blah. Crowd said no. They were standing and looking, you know, like lights and everything's going off, and they're with their beers just hanging up. I'm like, all right. So me and I was DJing with this guy, Skektek, around that time. We go out there and we slang moombahton, we slang mid tempo, we slang twerk at him, we slang house at him, we slang electro at him. We sang dubstep at him. We sang trap at him. We sang drum and bass, drum set. They weren't, not a damn bit of it did they feel. Fuck, like, I might as well play. Is there a genre called kitchen sing? Because I might as well try it. And I swear to God, Deora goes up there and he starts doing his shit. The crowd, it was like night and day. Wow. Like 0 to 100. He goes up there and he starts playing and they're all losing their fucking minds. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, it was still a great and fun night. Good, you know, packed crowd or whatever. But it was almost jarring. But, you know, sometimes it's just not going to work. And, you know, you got to eat those nights. And you got to eat those nights the same nights at the ones where it's like, they're hanging on every fucking song you play. Like, bro, people in there fucking holding their piss. They're like, I need another beer, but god damn it. Like, they're fucking great. And so it's, and that's the thing, you know, like with any, you know, any art form that you put yourself out there for people, there's going to be times when people feel it. There's going to be times when they're not.
Yeah. I need to do better about, just like reading the crowd. Like my USB, like I have it's definitely not as diverse as yours is probably, but I can definitely switch it up. My issue is like, I will spend like a week or two, like just playing around with songs to see like what sounds good. And like, I have a set planned out, and so in my head, it's just like, oh, I just gotta like toss all of that. It's hard.
Yeah. And it's not like a full toss everything. And it's all like, I again, come in with, and something I always recommend is pre-planned sections. Like I said, like the 3 to 5 songs, like I know these like 5 in this order, it bangs. I know this one go to this one, then go to this one. And, especially with, mixing, he really helps as well.
For sure.
Because it at least, it narrows it down from, cool, I got like 1,000 fucking songs I can play. There's it down to like 20, 10 to 20 that, I know will at least sound decent together.
Yeah.
And it's just, the reading the crowd just comes with a long time, and it's crowd control as well. Some great advice I got from my buddy Elvis, rest in peace, died of cancer many years ago, down in Atlanta. Another burner. He was a great guy. He told me something, and it has fucking stuck with me. And he saw Taylor Swift, dude. Of all fucking people, Taylor Swift, went to high school with her, weird story. He saw her do it, and he was like, that's fucking genius. So this is the sauce, I'm telling you. And I tell people this all the time because I love imparting knowledge. Yeah, right. Like it's when you're playing, especially like an hour set, you scan the crowd and you find that 1 or 2 people that like they're vibing with you, they're connected, they're like they're hanging on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You lock in with them. And you're like, if you start clapping with a song or like, let's go, you look right at them, you fucking point at that motherfucker. And they feel it goes back to the same thing when I was talking about like Facebook, people don't cheer for you. You lock in with them and you have that, intimate connection from, on the stage to the crowd. And then what they do is they start getting the people around them like, bro, he's fucking crushing it. They kind of get into it. Mm-hmm. And what you do is like the first, 20 minutes, this one, an hour and a half set, first 20 minutes, you lock in with all these various people in the crowd, especially, your front row. It's for fucking sure. Those people, you lock them in. You lock those motherfuckers in. They leave, you're in trouble. And you get these pockets, and then all of a sudden the pockets start merging, and then next thing you know, you're fucking 20 minutes in, you have the whole fucking front to back vibing with you because you picked these people out. And inevitably, like, some of those people will go end up getting a drink, but they left to get their drink. Their friends are still vibing with you because they're like, yeah, he is killing it, And then, it ends up being a wave of all of a sudden you have front to back, everybody's just vibing with you. And and honest to God, that is the sauce. That is the sauce of crowd control.
That's so funny because have you ever seen We Were Friends by any chance? Oh man. I never see, because they say the exact same thing. It's like you find that one person in the crowd that's feeling it. And then, you just kind of like a domino effect from there.
Yep. It works. And the only reason I'm sharing it is because I do it all the time and it works all like, what is it? 80% of the time it works every time. And it's, and that is something that, I've been routinely complimented on. And again, I'm not sitting here trying to, like,
you got experience, you can talk about it.
But like it works. And I pass it on to other people who come back, bro, that was like it worked. Like and it's also in just the interaction. Like I definitely use the mic way too much. I'm one of those people and I get clowned for it, but I still do it. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'll pull down the whole fucking shit to make the whole fucking everything quiet and just be screaming like and then pull it back up.
I love this shit.
Because it is all of a sudden for that 2 seconds, it is an intimate experience of we're not even listening to music for it right now. Like it is me, y'all, let's go. Like, and you bring it back up. It's
I love
like
talking to the crowd.
Team effort mentality, like we're all in this. Like, do y'all want to have a good time? And another thing with that, and that I was harp on, and some people are divided about this, especially like some of the trance house guys. They don't really connect in this way. But it's like, if you are up there and you do not look like you're having a good time, they're not going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Like, we're just, if you're up there just...
Have you heard of my homie Brokaw from Evansville?
He's so talented, man.
Yeah.
I got to see him at 404 one time, and I was so impressed with his set. And I know he's doing a lot of really good things up there as well. I've seen him be putting up shows and stuff. I got him on Facebook, but he's very talented and he's doing a lot of good work up there in Evansville.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, Evansville.
So that's something that I learned from him, just like watching him DJ a few times, like how into the set he is. And like before I saw him, like I was just dead up there. I was just like so concentrated on mixing and stuff. But yeah, like this most recent show that I played this week, I was just trying to.
Where'd you play this week?
Cobra. And surprise, have you played there anytime recently?
I'm gonna be real. All of the positivity I have just spoken is going to turn very quickly different for a second.
Wait, hold on.
I fucking hate the place.
Hold on.
I know a lot of people play there, but go on. Yeah, I just wanted to. I'm gonna be real about stuff. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, you love this," but I fucking hate Cobra. But I'm glad you got to play there, and the room is cool. I have specific other gripes about that place, but like there are plenty of people that play there, and it's a good venue for folks to go play.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, how did it go then?
It went pretty well.
Good.
Yeah, I was like speaking to the crowd, and like my energy was up, and surprisingly enough, I didn't have to like veer away from my set. Like the planned set that I had.
Good.
So.
Yeah, and that's always a great feeling that you're like, bro, you're sitting in the room, you're like, this is gonna kill him, and then it does. It's such a good fucking feeling when you're like, you get on stage, you're like, I fucking knew that matchup was gas, and I was right. Like it's validating.
Yeah,
and it's so good to be validated in something, in a space that you care about, and a space that you're active in is being validated within that space, and it is a incomprehensibly good feeling.
Yeah, that's why like Shaq does it, right?
Yeah,
feeling
like
Game 7.
And bro, like shout out to Shaq, man. He fucking just loves dubstep.
Yeah,
and that's why I fuck with him so heavy. A, he's fucking hilarious. B, he's one of the greatest centers to ever play the fucking game.
That's what
four-time NBA champion. Can't fucking argue that. Like, dude is one of the greatest centers to ever fucking play the game. Garbage free throw line guy. But hey, like everybody can't be perfect at everything. But he just fucking he genuinely loves the fucking music.
He doesn't do it for the money.
He still gets paid. Don't believe the hype on he doesn't get paid. He still gets paid for sure.
Yeah.
He's got a team.
But he doesn't do it for the money.
Exactly. It's Shaq. Yeah, Shaq ain't out there like, bro, I gotta get these gigs. I have a great Shaq.
I gotta get these gigs so I can feed my family and make sure that I can, keep going in life.
It's like, no, bro, he on ESPN like,
fucking Charles, I need you to shut the hell up, otherwise I'm gonna come over there and beat your ass.
But yeah, like he fucking loves it, man, and you can see it in his energy. You can see it like that. He genuinely just fucking likes the music.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, send me your tunes. He's like, Sotronics is my favorite fucking DJ. I want to be with Skrillex. And like, he's respected in the community because it's not a gimmick for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, fucking.
Not chasing clout.
Exactly, bro. It's real talk. The funniest thing on the fucking planet. If you ever hop on TikTok and see DJ Diesel's TikTok, and nobody else sees this, and it is the funniest fucking thing in the world to me, is that, so he has 2 accounts. I'm sure they're run by his management.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq does a lot. Like, dude is fucking slanging bangers on fucking Saturday, and then Sunday he's on a fucking panel with Charles.
Yeah.
Like,
Where are your rings, Charles?
but like, and so he's busy. But so what he does, so he'll post like a DJ Diesel, like a clip of him playing like Lollapalooza or some shit. And the first fucking comment, and it's always the number one liked one, is from his Shaquille O'Neal TikTok account going,
Is that the guy from the General playing dubstep?
and to me, it is every single, I'll pull it up, my phone's over there. I can pull it up right now. You go to DJ Diesel's TikTok, and the number one comment is always from his other account talking shit. And it's,
I'll check it out.
dude, it's the funniest fucking thing in the life. And it's always something stupid. Like, and it's funny stupid. Like, he'll be playing instead and be like, wasn't that guy on ESPN the other day? Like, it's just like, it's silly as hell. But like, and it goes really far with folks and Shaq is a great example of this, is like, when you care, when you're passionate, when it's something that you genuinely love, it fucking shows and people respond to that. And that's not something you can fake.
Very true.
Which I'm gonna go in, I got called a fake the other day. The other day. So I posted up in Nashville EDM, because I was like, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was asking me, he's like, how's Nashville? I'm moving back from Denver, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, honestly, we have it good right now. We really do. We have so many spaces in a variety of different sizes that we can do music. It's you got a lot of major promotion companies that bring in some decent headliners all the time, and obviously everybody has their gripes. Like, oh, I don't like Full Circle. I don't like Blank Canvas. I don't like Disco Dot. It's like, cool. Like everybody has their reasons for whatever. But overall, like Nashville, they'll bring these big acts. They're rotating out like the 20, 30 different DJs that like you see like on these, like all those I mentioned earlier, they're all on these support slots. Ish is on these support slots. We got Synth out here. We have all of these dudes and chicks, shout out to all the women DJs. We need way more female DJs. There, to the camera, there are too many white male DJs. Bro, let's get some women out here. Let's get some other fucking folks out here that ain't fucking white dudes. Coming from a white dude, there are too many white dudes up there. But they rotate out all these different acts. So it's not just like 4 or 5 people that are eating. It's 12 to 20 that are eating. And then you always need more and more people come up. And, and we have all these spaces. We have a thriving I haven't even been to these underground shows in Nashville. Thriving. Tennessee Tunnel Authority. I don't know if they want me even mentioning them. But, the underground here, there's warehouses. Thriving. We have a place like, love it or hate it. We have Skydeck. If you would have told me fucking 7 years ago when I was having to drive to fucking Murfreesboro to play a show, to even go to a show, like, because there just wasn't a club in Nashville for a second. That we had a lot of them shut down and just there wasn't anything. If you would have told me back then, 7 years ago, we're going to have a 12,000 person cap venue, 1,200, excuse me, 1,200 cap venue on a rooftop with a great light sound. The sound's okay. It's not the best, but I mean, it's downtown Broadway. It's across Bridgeton. They have to keep it lower enough,
Yeah, fair enough.
But like,
I fucking love Skydeck.
Yeah,
it's a vibe every single time I go.
Always get the liquor drinks because they overpour. Love it. But like, we have that now. We have that. We have Deep Tropics now, right in the fucking middle of the city. We have a festival that's going on for like 5 to 6 years now that highlights, house and like bass music. Like, and it's a sustainable. I love Tropics. I will gush all day about Tropics. I think they do a great fucking job. Again, love it or hate it.
I don't
know nobody that talks no shit about Tropics. They're like, ain't nobody like, fuck Deep Tropics. Like, how? Like, where are you coming from, all that energy? But like, we have all of this here, so I was kind of gushing to my friend about it. And he was like, bro, Denver sucks. He's like, everybody's on drugs all the time. Like, all of the shows just ain't it. Like, and this is
really
people
wow.
that come from Denver.
I've been thinking about moving out there.
It's, bro, I'll tell you from multiple people that have went to Denver and came back. And they were like, it's like, don't get me wrong, they get hella shows. They get anybody you could ever fucking want coming through there. But they're like, the scene and the energy in that city is just, it's not a community. It doesn't feel like people, like, I know DJs out in Denver that are just, they fucking all hate each other. Damn. And that's just not the energy.
We don't have that now.
No, we don't, bro. Like, fucking,
love.
Yeah, like, like, if you heard me through this whole fucking conversation, like, everybody, I'm shouting names out, telling you, like, even people you may not even knew I knew. I'm like, they're doing great work. And so I made this big post. I was like, shit's good right now. Could it be better? Of fucking course it could. Everything can always be better, but it's good right now compared to what we did have for a while. And it was thriving many years ago in the 2000s, but obviously shit changed. But right now, we have places like even Cobra, Golden Door, Office, Vinyl Lounge, Skydeck. We have all of these fucking places we can do shows at any different capacity. We have headliners coming. Look at fucking Sacred Hive. There was, one dude was like, I fucking love this music. Shout out Jared. He was like, I fucking love this music. I'm going to create this space for this music to exist because the space didn't exist in Nashville. And now he has a thriving microcosm community that fucks it. Like, he just dropped Double Wing, and it's going to be fucking sold out. I guarantee you. That lineup's great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
He always does hard-ass lineups.
Yeah, he really does. Double Wing's always great. But like, and he does, Soundhaven as well. And that all came from one person going, instead of going, why don't we have this? This is dumb. Everybody should be doing this. He goes, we don't have it. Let's make this space for it. And you could tell the genuine feeling behind what he was doing spread to the other people that were like coming there, and they were like, oh, he loves this music. He's bringing all these acts. I like this music. And he gets more and more people involved. He rotates DJs like a motherfucker. He'd always be finding people I've never fucking heard of putting them on these lineups. And they're gas. Like, and so I made this big post, and I got a hater out there. This is fucking chode of a dude.
You're not doing it right if you don't have any haters.
Right. And he's already not liked in the community. Whatever, fine. And was just like, I can't believe people fall for like these fakes in Nashville that like, need validation and they can't see through his bullshit. I was like, me? Like, bro, I'm a lot of things. I'm loud. I'm egotistical at times. I'm a little arrogant. Bro, I'm not the snappiest dresser in the world. I got fucking...
You're looking fly today.
Yeah, I got like 5 of these fucking outfits. Like, I'm a lot of things. Like, I'm a fast food junkie. You could be on the internet and I'm like, bro, he ate fast food like 5 times this week. Fuck him, man. I'm like, you ain't wrong, but that was out of pocket. But if there's anything, man, I'm not a fake. And it's, and because I know where my heart is. And that's what's most important, because I do, and don't get me wrong, like, there's a lot of times I've been like, man, fuck Nashville. But at the end of the day, I'm very grateful for what we have here and the vibe we have here. And it just, and it is genuine. Because we have some great stuff.
Sorry about my dog, if you can hear my dog. She's been whining this whole time.
Yeah.
Wanted to ask you about something that happened a few years ago where like some show got canceled and like everyone pulled up at this like random location and like you were playing.
Yeah. Oh man.
Tell me more about
2021. And it was Bonnaroo that got canceled. Not just some show in fucking Bonnaroo. It was when the hurricane came through and it came up and fucking flooded the farm, right? And I was supposed to go to that Bonnaroo line in 2021. It was great.
It was amazing.
It was the second year it got canceled, right? Because again, I don't know if you remember, but we had a whole pandemic, a worldwide global issue. Everything got canceled 2020. And I used to always say, like, I couldn't make it. I'm like, there'll always be more parties. There were not more parties for a while. But 2021, Bonnaroo gets canceled for a second year. And it was like the Monday before the Friday of the festival. They were out there setting everything up. And they were just like, I had friends out there in mud up to like their fucking shits, bro. And there was like, there's no way they could do this. And I was like, fuck, man. And so I'm just chilling at home. I'm moping. It gets canceled. And I swear to God, like an hour later, I get a call from my boy Martine. And Martine doesn't throw shows. Like, it's just not something he did. And he calls me, he's like, hey, bro, like, fucking, what are you doing this weekend? I was like, I was fucking going to Bonnaroo, but now I don't fucking know. Like, I was doing this. Kids do this nowadays for the phone. Because it's
yeah.
Isn't that weird? It's like, hey, bro, like, I need you this weekend. I was like, what are you doing? Like, what you don't think? He's like, man, I'm putting something together. I'm working with a lot of people. Tell me. And I was like, I don't know any fucking, that was all of the details I had is what I just told you. And I was like, sure. Like, what?
Spur of the moment type shit.
Yeah. And he was like, well, they got canceled. We might have some land. We're going to maybe put something together. And fucking low about unheard of. 72 hours later, they put together a whole fucking music festival over at Short Mountain Distillery. And there were a lot of people involved, too many people for me to list. So, if anybody does watch this and was part of that, don't fucking hate on me, because there's just a lot of people that were involved that did a lot of good work. I will say shout out Fifth Dimension Sound. They did the main stage. That much I can, at least I have to throw that out there. But there was a lot of great people involved in that whole process. Never in my life, like, bro, I've seen festivals that they had like a year of planning go worse. And so 72 hours, and they put together one of the fucking most fun festivals I've ever seen. So I was supposed to play Friday. somehow it happened where I ended up closing out the main stage on Friday. Don't ask me how. Like, it just, that's just, I guess I was just available. I guess that's what it was. So, I'm hanging out at my buddy's RV, which is not far from the main stage site. And like, it's getting close to my set time. I'm like, man, I wonder how many fucking people are out there. And I'm like, cool, let's, I'm gonna go do my thing. And this was kind of when I was in my party house era, where I was playing a lot of house music, but it was like pop remixes and bass house. I called it party house because it was just a lot of like stuff you hear at a house party, but it was also house music. And, like the Cardi B, the whole fucking nine, like just fun stuff, fun. And that's what I was liking. And so I fucking go out there and it's a sea of fucking people. I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, where did y'all come from? And it was like over 1,000 people all at this fucking main stage. The main stage looks amazing. They have the LED wall, the lights and lasers. It's all fucking going. And I hop up there and I do my 30 minutes of this party house. And then I switched to 30 minutes of drum and bass. And it was such an emotional moment because it was, and they were fucking in it, bro. People, as far as I can see, it was one of the biggest crowds I've ever played before. Hands fucking down.
That's awesome.
On a spur of the fucking moment. And it was just so fucking awesome. And that was what the festival shouted us out because I messaged them because I've talked with them about stuff before. And I think the Bridge to Nashville, honestly, are one of the reps, I think. Because they're always like, Bonnaroo this, Bonnaroo that. I'm like,
you're cool.
Yeah. But like I sent them that shit. And then also the bus pulled up that year. They had the bus stage. We had a lot of great talent on that out of nowhere festing. And sent to the festival. I was like, hey, like Bonnaroo got canceled. We did these folks, not we. I was not. I was just there. They just had me come out and do the thing. I was like, they fucking put this shit together in like 72 fucking hours. I'd never seen, and it was so well run. Security was on point. Fucking the festival was on point. Like everything. Like it was to this day one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And the festival used the fucking picture to play. I was like, it was so fucking cool, man. And shout out to the people that put all that together. It was such a unique experience. They did another festival the year later called Greenway. Same spot, a lot of the same people involved. It was a lot more official, a lot bigger acts as well. And they kind of threw in some jam bands. And then it just got fucking rained on real bad. It was
rain,
bro. Same homie that had the RV last time. We just held up in it and watched all the X-Men movies. Honestly, that was kind of like we were just getting trashed on mimosas in this RV. Well, it is just fucking pouring. Like it was like, you know how it fucking rains here. When it fucking rains, it rains. So, like, and it was just fucking shitting outside. So me and a bunch of my fucking friends all hung out in this RV, watched all the X-Men movies, and fucking got absolutely shithoused on mimosas. It ended up being a fun time. When the rain cleared up, we set up and did a Renegade thing and had a couple people come through. But yeah, that year was something super fucking special. And that really felt like that was the turning point for at least me and what I was doing, because it was like, holy shit. Like, again, being validated in a space that, you are passionate about.
Yeah, like thousands of people were there for you.
Yeah.
And then
they weren't even there for me. They were just there. Like, and they were like, yo, this fucking guy.
He's killing it.
Yeah, like.
Let's look him up. Let's add him up real quick.
Oh, bro. After my set, people will come up like, oh my God, can we get your picture? I was like, oh, somebody call my mom. But like, it was just so fucking crazy. And that really felt like, because less than 2% of that crowd was there because I was playing. They were all just there because it's like, bro, we have nowhere to go. Like, we want to go party. And so they went and did this shit. And so it was just a huge point, because it was like, yeah, you can play to your homies, you can play to your same people in Nashville all the fucking time. But it's like, because your homies are always going to be like, rushing it, love what you do. And it's like, thanks. But you would say that if I was fucking like taking a shit, came out the bathroom and been like, yo, bro, great shit, dog. Like, thanks? What? But like, it was like, like 98% of them were just there because they wanted to party. And it felt just really good giving them a fun experience when, you know, like, because it could have just been like really shitty
Mm-hmm.
because this whole ass fucking festival, 70,000 people displaced, you know, it's just like, you know, what do we do? Like, you know, this shit's not going to happen. So a lot of them came up there, they sold it out. They were like, we can't let anybody else in because the fucking fire marshals will come in and be like, this is dangerous. Fucking, you know, like you only have so much med you can, like, you know, you have to have medical, you have to have like, you know, security, and it has to be appropriate for the size of the event. But it was
worked out.
Dude, it was special. Honestly, it was so special.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, I'm trying to think if I had any other questions. I think that really wraps it up, man.
That sounds good, man. Yeah, it's the biggest thing is Death Pact coming up on October 27th at Marathon Music Works. It'll be Death Pact, G-Rex, who just had a song with Skrillex, and Fly. If you haven't looked up Fly bass music, he's awesome. I hadn't heard of him until the show got booked, and it was like, oh, like this guy's sick as fuck. I'm gonna dress up. It's gonna be Halloween type vibes.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, but I've never played Marathon, so I'm very excited to do that. I've all the venues in Nashville. I've played every fucking one of them. Played Cobra before even. And like, you know, every fucking venue in Nashville, closed, open, yada yada. I've played every single one of them besides Marathon. So it's a big milestone for me, and I'm very excited. I'm a big Death Pact fan. No, I'm not going to tell anybody who he is because they're probably going to make me sign an NDA. Honestly, I'm going to be like, bro, can I just meet you wearing the mask? Like, you don't even have to talk. Just let me get the selfie and I'll move on.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good.
You know, like, don't tell me. I run my fucking mouth. Like, I will get hammered and be like, bro, I'll tell you. Like, and then next thing you know, I'm getting sued. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's avoid that.
Yes. So, awesome. Yeah.
Tell them where to find you.
Yeah, hit me up, Facebook, Souljunk, my SoundCloud. I just dropped my bootleg of Release Me, as well as I've got my Disclosure bootleg up. I got a lot more songs coming in, you know, a lot of originals coming up. I do not have my Spotify set up yet. That is TBD, and TBA, to be announced. There we go. Too many acronyms. Let's see. Instagram under Souljunk Nate. My old one got hacked. It was Nate Souljunk. Long story. I'll tell you about it another time. But Souljunk Nate. And yeah, I think that's it off the top of my head.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
That was a blast. You had some great questions there.
That was dope.
I told you I'm a talker.
We need more people like you on this podcast.
Oh man.